The future, 27th century. Takeshi Kovacs is resurrected in a new body and learns that he now works for Lawrence Bancroft, helping him solve a crime. Takeshi Kovacs, a man underwater. A female voiceover says that all is not what it seems and asks him not to make assumptions. A girl and a guy standing in the shower, washing off blood. Female voiceover says to trust nothing, not what is seen or what is heard. Don't trust what they say or their memories. A guy and a girl kissing. Takeshi Kovacs lights a cigarette lying on his back. A girl sits next to him and is doing something. Takeshi closes his eyes and sees the face of a dark-skinned girl. A voiceover says that they are messengers and take what is offered. Takeshi walks over to the screen with palm trees and touches it with his hand. The screen becomes a window. The girl is swearing in the mat and says that in bone work, splinters keep getting clogged up. She asks Takeshi whose he thinks they are. Takeshi mumbles that it doesn't make a difference, since they are getting paid. The girl wonders if the guy has always been such a badass. He says every time and in every shell. Takeshi touches the window with his hand, and it turns off. Suddenly Takeshi starts to see through one of the walls of the room. He says that there are KTHS fighters there, a dozen of them, with combat charges. He pronounces that there are 3 seconds left. There is an explosion. The girl and the guy are thrown back. The voiceover says that your body is not who you are, and that it can be shed just like a snake sheds its skin. It needs to be left behind and forgotten. The man and the girl take out the body in a huge, clear bag. The man says that the girl will only learn by watching. He explains that they are barely alive at first. They have to be pulled out. The man opens the bag and liquid pours out of it. He says they need to get the tube out. The girl starts to get it out. The guy's body twitches. The man explains that if the body is twitching, it died a violent death. There is an explosion. The girl and Takeshi are thrown backwards. Masked soldiers with guns in their hands enter the room. The boy and the girl hide behind a wall. The girl has a gun in her hand and she thrusts one gun at the guy. A voiceover says, "You are the gun." Takeshi fires, hitting one soldier directly. A firefight begins. The girl starts shooting too. The girl throws a grenade. The girl says the body twitches strangely, very hard. The man says to put the body on a chair, but the girl refuses. The man walks over to the guy, he pushes him, and the man falls. He asks how much time has passed. The guy is Takeshi Kovacs. His profile is classified. He is told it's been 250 years. Takeshi asks for a mirror. The man gives him a metal tray. Takeshi Kovacs. Takeshi looks into it. At first, he sees his old self, but then he sees a new face. He asks where he is. He is told that he is in Alcatraz prison on Earth. Takeshi stands up and asks where the shower room is. He is shown. Takeshi Kovacs is washing himself in the shower. The voiceover says that it will be unbearable to rise from the dead. Other people enter the showers. The woman says that the men have successfully served their prison sentences. She says that their bodies are not the same as when they arrived here. Now that their debt to society has been repaid, they have received new shells from the prisoners' fund. The woman pronounces that now people may feel bewilderment, disorientation, visual and auditory hallucinations, and even mild amnesia. All of this is normal. The woman shows a transparent crystal and says it is a cortical stack. Every protectorate citizen gets one of these at the age of 1. She explains that inside is a digital human payload. That is, consciousness can be loaded into any stack and any shell. The woman says that if you damage the stack, you can't be resurrected. Takeshi Kovacs approaches a girl lying on the floor after a grenade explosion. The guy is attacked by a soldier and a fight breaks out between them. The girl gets up and starts aiming at the soldier as other soldiers enter the room and shoot her. A soldier shoots Takeshi Kovacs. A voice says that when you wake up, the world won't be the same as it was before, and neither will you. Takeshi Kovacs walks into an office with a man in a suit. The man says the hero's file is partially classified. It contains espionage, terrorism, crimes against the state, and multiple murders. One of the Jaeger soldiers tells Takeshi Kovacs that he is under arrest for treason against the Protectorate and for working with the terrorist leader Quellcrist Falconer. Jaeger Takeshi says he wasn't working for her and they had a collective. Jaeger says the chase is over, and he would gladly take a guy's life if he gave a reason. XXVII Falconer. Takeshi says he knows about the order and advises him to apprehend him. Jaeger asks who the girl in the room is. Takeshi replies that she's just a local mercenary. Jaeger tells the hero that if he hadn't gotten cocky, the girl would have survived. He shoots her in the neck from behind. The man in the suit goes on to say that when Takeshi was arrested, he shot his sidekick in the stack. He spells out that the girl was shot from behind, which means Takeshi is also a coward. The man shows a document that says that Takeshi's digital human cargo was placed in this body. He was given clothes and cash at the behest of a company that rented Takeshi. The character is in the possession of Lawrence Bancroft until the lease expires. Takeshi wonders what about his rights, and is told that he has no rights. If he doesn't obey, he'll end up back here again. The voice says that the guy will see the waiting room with those who were left behind. They will be looking for their loved ones in their new bodies. Kristen Ortega approaches Takeshi and tells him she will take him to the Lawrence Bancroft residence. Kristen Ortega, Takeshi and Kristen head toward the exit. They see a girl of 7 now in the body of a grown woman. At the exit, there is a crowd of Protestants with placards that say, "Give the dead the right to vote." On the way to the residence, Kristen says those people are the saviors of souls. There was once a Bill 653 to temporarily revive victims to testify about who took their lives. Takeshi tells Jaeger that he's scum. Jaeger shoots the hero, but he gets up again. Takeshi runs right at Jaeger as he shoots him at point-blank range. Takeshi dies. Kristen asks what Takeshi was in jail for. She wonders how a guy decides who can take his life. Takeshi says he can be taken out by anyone, and it all depends on his mood. Kristen says that Lawrence Bancroft is a MAF, one of the first ones. She pronounces that she's been around for over 360 years. She flies into the Arium. Kristen wonders where Takeshi is from. The guy says she asks a lot of questions. Kristen says that the Mafia build their houses high up, away from the chaos on Earth. The heroes land and come out. Kristen says she is from security. Takeshi says his name. Kristen freezes for a second, and then says that all the messengers died, and this can't be happening. Miriam Bancroft approaches the heroes. Miriam Bancroft, she tells Kristen that she is trespassing on private property and stole one of the limos. The woman also asks why Kristen delivered the messenger and not Isaac Bancroft. Isaac Bancroft. A police car lands nearby, and a man takes Isaac Bancroft out of there, saying that the guy was picked up for drunk driving. Miriam asks her son if everything is okay and sends him inside. Kristen says goodbye. Miriam Bancroft introduces herself to Takeshi. The couple walks into the house. Miriam says she has a weakness for the artifacts of the elder civilization. She collects them, and it takes her fortune to do so. The woman shows a singing tree and says that no one knows what it is. It's so ancient. Takeshi says he's seen ones like it. She pronounces that Lawrence is in her office. In the elevator, on the way to the office, Miriam wonders if it's true that by looking into a person's eyes, Takeshi can read minds. Takeshi says that messengers do not read minds. Lawrence Bancroft apologizes to Takeshi for his son not delivering the hero. Lawrence begins to speculate about the messengers and says he lived during the rebellion. Takeshi pronounces that he did too. Lawrence says that there are few left who have seen what the messengers can do. Lawrence gives the hero a book and says that this is how it has been read for centuries. He says that the text there is written by XXVII Falconer herself. Seeing Takeshi's reaction, Lawrence says that he must have bought the book for a reason. Takeshi says that some things can't be bought, alluding to himself. Takeshi says that he didn't ask to be brought back to this world, and even fought to keep people like Lawrence out. Takeshi says that if they don't explain what it's all for, he might lose control of himself. Lawrence gives the hero a paper, and says that it is a pardon signed by the president of the protectorate. The man pronounces that he has great influence, and power is precisely a matter of influence. Lawrence says that if Takeshi agrees to the terms, his sentence will be reduced and he will be granted his freedom. Then the man will open a generous loan in Takeshi's name, and then the man will be able to choose another shell after an investigation. And also, Lawrence will pay a salary, 5 million credits. All Lawrence asks is to reveal how his life was taken. Kristen keeps thinking about Takeshi. She says that the messenger is no ordinary soldier. If he is uploaded into the shell, he will come ready. Kristen is worried that Lawrence has brought the terrorist back to life. A co-worker reassures the girl, saying that Takeshi will return to the vault. Lawrence shows Takeshi the place where he was taken from his life. He spells out that it was done with a quantum blaster. Only Lawrence and Miriam have the keys to the safe that holds the weapon. So Lawrence either took his own life or his wife did it. Lawrence says that his stack was destroyed, but he used a full spectrum backup. Lawrence tells Takeshi that he likes explorers and exploring Earth. Lawrence asks the hero to look through a large telescope and says that the satellite Takeshi sees belongs to him, and every 48 hours his stack is uploaded there. Lawrence says that whoever took his life shot him 10 minutes before the unloading, and all memories for 2 days are gone. Lawrence also says that someone tried to hack into the satellite signal right after his death. Lawrence says that if he wanted to take his own life, he wouldn't have screwed up like that. Takeshi says he doesn't want the money and chooses eternity in darkness. Lawrence gives the hero a day to think about it. He advises Takeshi to take a walk in the city and feel alive. The man also tells Takeshi to pick up the diary book. Takeshi talks to his sister, Raylene Kawahara, or rather, an image of her. Raylene Kawahara. Takeshi says that they own everything, just as Quellcrist Falconer predicted. Takeshi shows up at a nightclub. He takes a whole suitcase of drugs and starts taking them. He is found by Kristen when the guy sees a lot of things around him. She asks what the guy is doing here. Takeshi says he is hiding from being followed. Kristen asks why the guy needs Lawrence. Takeshi offers to start over, and they go to a bar. Kristen reveals that Lawrence wanted to punish her for the girl not finding who took his life. Kristen says that at the man's request, she arranged for his wife Miriam to take a polygraph test, and she passed. Kristen says that all options were tested, but the most recent theory is suicide. Takeshi says that when a body is stored for a long time, it continues to produce hormones. Takeshi also says that Lawrence is sure that he was robbed of his life by someone, and then denying it was fun. Takeshi says that this is not his world and that he will go back into storage. The guy says he will be at the hotel if the girl changes her mind. Takeshi spells out to enjoy the girls before falling asleep for good. Takeshi walks into the Raven Bar. The male receptionist offers options of girls. Takeshi already agrees to one, but a gun is put to his head. Demi says that Takeshi was wrong to decide to stop here. He starts beating Takeshi. Suddenly a gun appears out of the canvas and starts shooting Demi's men. The male receptionist pulls out a machine gun as well. A gunfight ensues. Takeshi fights with Demi in hand-to-hand combat. Kristen walks into the hotel and asks who all those people are on the floor. Kristen's co-worker says they are all mercenaries, and Demi is very famous. Kristen says the guy is copying himself, and that is illegal and punishable by forfeiture of life. Takeshi says that he apparently wants to prevent Lawrence from investigating the case. Takeshi is having visions. He remembers Quellcrist Falconer and says he doesn't know how to be in a world without her. The guy points a gun at himself, but the image of Quellcrist says that nothing will go away that way. Quellcrist tells the hero to do what he knows how to do. The messengers take what is offered to them. She tells Takeshi to finish his mission. Takeshi says he is taking the mission.